Okay, welcome. I was recording so that uh, for the purpose of those who will not be here. So today we are looking at research, how to do research, the importance of research in social media management, and why as a social media manager you should do research and where to do that research. So um, when you start any social media management project, your work is not ideally just to create content, or you're not just supposed to jump at the strategy before you understand where you're working from, what you're doing, who you're doing it for, whatever you are promoting, and the platform in which you will work. So, when if you do your social media management without doing research, then whatever content you push out, it will have different signals, which is different tones. It will have mixed objectives, and this will sabotage the goals you have for the social media management campaign you're doing. It will also burn your efforts on the formats or ideas that the audience ignores, because you'll just be working on your own perception or your own imagination, which does not really work in the social media management space. You'll also miss easy wins or low hanging fruits, which maybe the competitors are leaving on the table for you to grab. Now, if you don't do the research, you will not identify these easy wins, and so you'll also leave them on the table. And lastly, the KPIs that you will set and the ones you will monitor will not align with the reality on the social media platform or the reality of the business goals. So it's important to do your research first before starting any social media strategy. So the five things you must look at when doing the research is: one, who is your audience? So you should understand who you're trying to reach through the social media content that you'll be creating. So, and by knowing them is not just giving a general label like I'm targeting coaches, I'm targeting entrepreneurs, I'm targeting executives. You should be specific. Know their role, know their buying power, know their daily frustrations or pain points, know where they hang out online so that you don't target a wrong platform, and know the language they use, which is called the voice of the customer. Um, Once you understand these, it's what determines the voice you will use in your social media content. It is what will determine the content formats, the post length, the platform you will use, the times you will post, because timing is also an important factor, and the psychological hooks that you will use in your copy. Different audiences react differently to psychological hooks. For example, if you're targeting maybe if you work for us, you're doing social media for, say, a hospital, then you try use humor as a psychological hook, because maybe you don't understand the target audience or what it's supposed to mean. Then you will easily lose your audience because they'll see you making fun of their situation. So it's important to understand who you want to talk to. Two, you should understand what they care about. So, what topics, what questions, what formats do they care about? What are these things which will make them stop and try read what you're writing? So, you look for those, look for complaints, look for the FAQs, look for what they share amongst themselves. Once you get that, you can easily create content that is within whatever they've been talking about, so it will just seem natural for them to engage with your brand or with your business. Then the third question is, what are your competitors doing? The reason why you need to understand your competitors is one, you both share the customer base. And because you do share, you need to understand them for you to beat them. So understand the themes they post, the posts that are getting interactions, where they fail, whatever they leave on the table, the tactics that they are using, so that you can replicate these and make them better. So the goal here is not to copy them, but it's to benchmark so that you know what your baseline should look like. Because if maybe your competitor is going hyper on Facebook ads, they are doing a lot of reels and they are gaining that traction. If you do anything less than that, then you'll be underselling yourself to the market. The fourth thing is understanding whatever you're trying to promote, the product or service that you are trying to promote. So, what are the core benefits? What are the common objections? What are the proof points that it has already worked before for others? What is the pricing like? And what is the delivery friction? So, you need to know whatever you are doing or whatever you are promoting. Uh, In out so that when you're addressing your writers, okay, when you're addressing your readers, you can easily pass the message across in a way that they will understand, in a way that will communicate the real benefits to them, and they can engage with your content. Then the last question is, what is the business expected to achieve? So, what are the goals? What is the purpose? What is the purpose? What is the goal of the business you're doing the social media for? Do they want brand awareness? Do they want lead generation? Do they want to retain customers? So once you know what they want to achieve, you can now set practical key performance indexes so that you can track whether your efforts are really leading to the goals or not. This one will also it will help you avoid overpromising, and it will also help you not apply your efforts to a meaningless campaign. For example, if a brand wants to maybe their goal is brand awareness, then you come in, you just take some educated guess and assume they want more leads, and you do maybe a lead generation campaign. Then, when now the business is assessing the performance of your efforts, they find that the brand awareness has not moved an inch. So they'll see that you are ineffective, whereas whatever effort or solution you brought was targeting a wrong goal. So it's important to know the real goal, the business goal, so that you can align your social media campaign and efforts to their goals. So when you do research, these are the five things that you need to deliver. One is the audience persona or the ideal client profile or the avatar. Two is the competitor audit. Three is the benefits or objection matrix. Then the platform recommendation and the content pillars. When you when you submit these five elements, then your research can now be used to generate a plan and a strategy, which will now lead to a campaign, which will then be successful. So to be able to achieve all this, we have areas of three important areas where you need to do your research. The first one is the market, then the competitor, and the brand itself. So you need to do market research, competitor research, and the brand or product or service research. So the market research is for you to understand the environment that your client is operating in. So, for example, if they're in the coaching industry, so you need to understand the coaching industry, right from the audience to the coaching themselves, how the trends are. So you need to understand. So the first element of market research is audience identification. So this is where you need to understand who you are targeting on a level that goes beyond generic profiling. So beyond the demographics, you're also supposed to know their psychographics, their daily behaviors, their emotional drivers, because these are what will determine the success of your content. So once you do audience identification, you should be able to understand their role in the buying process. Remember, if you're promoting anything, you need to target the decision maker or the person who decides what should be bought or what should be subscribed to. Then you also need to understand the pressure that they face daily or the pain points. You also need to know how they make decisions, what they compare, the important elements they are looking for, and what motivates them to pay attention. Because once you know this, you're able to identify their real pain points, you're able to identify their real desires, you're able to identify the motivators which will make them act now. So if you have that information, then your content will be relatable to them, it will be convincing enough, and it will be able to achieve the goal that you have set it. Apart from understanding them, you need also to understand their journey in the purchase process. So we have four steps. One is awareness, where they become aware with the brand or the solution you're offering. Then the second step is the consideration step, where they consider, they compare. So they see that you are offering A, B, C. This other one is offering A, B only. The other one is offering A up to F. So they are considering what looks good to them, what will be of benefit to them, and then now comes the decision phase, which is the purchase stage, where they now make the purchasing. Then once they purchase, you can now retain them. So if they bought something, you can sell something else to them. You can keep them around so that when you have something you promote, they become your primary target. So each stage here, they get different types of content, because, for example, in the awareness stage, you should be educating them on whatever your brand or your business or your client works about, so that they can get the information they need to make a decision. If it's consideration, then you should identify what makes you different. So if they are comparing your, let's say, because you'll also apply this when looking for clients, if you're offering your social media management services, you should be able to identify what makes you different from other social media managers out there. What will make you stand out? So you give information which will put you in the upper hand, and it will help them make a decision of choosing you. Then during the purchase decision, now you give them offers. You can give them some bonuses, just to be able to entice them to purchase. So once you've done in the audience journey, you should also understand the industry trends. Um, every industry changes with the time. Some are too volatile, some take time. So you should be able to understand the trends that are in every industry. Also, you should be able to understand what each industry, which type of content they relate to very fast. For example, um, for things like if maybe you're offering academic courses, um, you should think about the education platforms. You should think about maybe YouTube, uh, instead of now, if you offer your training, say through LinkedIn or through uh, sharing resources only. So you should be able to understand what is the most practiced uh, thing in that industry. So you should be able to understand the patterns, and also you should understand which platform works well for that industry, which content formats uh, are good for that industry, and what is the narrative that the market has been conditioned to expect. Because if you come with a different narrative, which is different in the negative perspective, then you expect to face a backlash, or you expect to gain no traction. But then if you bring either what the market expects or something better, then you expect to see some results. Another thing you need to research in the market is the demand insights. So you should be able to know what people are actively looking for. What are they complaining about? What do they love? What are they debating about? So that you can know the actual problems and desires that are driving their buying decisions. So, for the questions that people ask frequently, for the frustrations that they express, you should be able to use now the content, uh, your content, to answer those frustrations. You should be able to use your content to answer the questions they are asking. You should be able to use your content to address the objections they have, so that you can position your brand as a relevant, informed, and helpful voice. So you can use tools such as Google Trends, Answer the Public, Reddit, and Quora. You can use the platform insights tools, or you can use TikTok Creative Center just to get what people are asking around a specific topic. Then comes the competitor research. So after you've done the market research, now it's time to understand the people you are competing against. And your competitors can be divided into two. There are direct competitors and there are indirect competitors. So direct competitors, these are people who sell the exact same product or service. So if I'm offering social media management, my competitor will be another social media manager. So I should be able to know what it is they offer, how their prices look, what their processes look like. And then an indirect competitor will be someone who solve the problem I solve, but in a different way. So for example, so going with the example of social media management. So if I'm offering my social media management, you'll find some copywriters who offer social media management. You'll find some virtual assistants who offer social media management. So those are indirect competitors, because um, they don't just offer what I offer, they offer other things, and then what I offer is just part of their offerings. Or someone who gives a total support on, say, digital marketing. So that is an indirect competitor. So you should be able also to know, because if if a customer, or even if you are the client and you get two people, one will only help you solve problem A, then another one will solve problem A, B, and C. You can compare the prices, see whether the difference can justify for you to hire the second one. Because if you can get more done at a reasonable price, then that's a decision worth taking. So, how to research about your competitors? One, you should audit their social presence. So try to see what they are doing, how they post, the formats, the platforms, the patterns, the comments that they have, the reviews, what their customers are saying. So you try to understand how they are working, how the engagement is going. So this will give you a clear understanding of what your target audience, because your target audience is their target audience. So you'll get to know what your target audience responds to. Then once you've done that audit, you should be able to extract opportunities. So if you see a gap in messaging, if you see a gap in the topics they address, if you see them ignoring to reply to some objections, if you see them using outdated formats, these are opportunities which you can use now to be able to gain a upper hand and to be able to compete with them actively. Also remember that now depending on what you or your client is offering, sometimes you'll find that if you're just entering the market, when you do an competitor research or audit, remember they have already done a research themselves. So you're somehow like getting a leakage on how the market is. So because they are working with some data, so you get like an insider tip on how your market is working. So it's easy now to be able to improve on whatever they have done. And I always compare these with the people who do what's it called, like the people who redo somebody's music. You find someone releases a song, it trends, then a group of people will come and say, let's redo it. So these people, they are working from the benefits of information, knowing that this song is already being loved out there. So they're just improving on it. So that is what the audience, the competitor do, because you'll be ahead of the competitor because they went there ahead of you. So it becomes easy for you to pick whatever they've already done. Then the third element is now the product, service, or brand research. So this is where you understand or you try to understand whatever you're promoting, be it a product or a service or the brand. You need to understand it inside out so that you can connect the brand, the business, or the product with your audience. So start by understanding the offer. So, what are the benefits that your audience will get from whatever you're promoting? Assuming it's a product, how will it change their lives? How is it better than what's already there? How does the price compare to whatever is in the market? How is the delivery process? So you try to understand that. Then you explore the unique value proposition. So this is how unique this product is compared to others. Then you validate proof or seeing whether there are some customers who have already tried the product or the service. What are their results? Are they things that the audience will want to emulate? Because if by using my product, people have already used it, they gained a positive result, then I would easily use it to now like brag or show that it's already giving positive results for these people. You can also try it. So once you understand that, the next thing is to understand the brand identity. So this is things like the tone, the voice, the values, the color, the style, the layout preference, the emotional associations. This is to help you stay consistent or stay on brand. Because um, if if you are working for a brand which maybe focuses on humor, so everything they write is somehow funny. If you someday, maybe when you come in, you have not noticed about the brand identity, so you just write the posts according to your own way of writing. If it's serious, it will not relate with the previous audience, because if they are used to a humorous way, and then you become formal or serious, then you will start detaching the brand from the audience. So you need to understand the brand identity so that you stay on brand and you become consistent. Then also understand the buyer motivations that leads to them or your audience purchasing your product or service. So in copywriting, we say human beings make purchasing decisions based on emotions, then they justify with the logic. So you should understand the emotional triggers, then the logical triggers. So, for example, if let's say I'm selling a piece of cloth, um, so you should first try to paint it in an emotional sense. How different, how will the audience feel if they have that cloth? How smooth is it? Uh, how easy is it to clean? How does it look to the public? Things like that. Then you can now come to the logical triggers, talking about the material, talking about how easy it is to clean, and things like that. So you start with the emotional triggers, then you go to the logical triggers. So once you understand those, you can create content that can convince your readers to take action. Because at the end of the day, your social media content will have a goal. And regardless of the goal, you need to position your content such that it leads your audience to take that action. Then you also need to understand the internal goals or the business goals so that you can align your social media goals or the efforts or the goals of your efforts to the internal business goals. So this will help align the KPIs. It will also help you know which campaign will take priority, because if you're working for someone, they have their own idea, they have their own perspective, they have their own goals. Now, you coming in as an expert, you're supposed to help them achieve their goals in the uh, smartest and the fastest way possible. So once you've understood the market, you've understood your audience, you've understood your competitors, you've understood the offer, the product or the service you're offering, you now need to turn the content or whatever you've collected during the research into insights. So research by itself it's just information, but now how you interpret them is where the gold is. So when you now interpret the research report, you now identify the patterns, you see the gaps, you see the behaviors in the market and for the audience, you find opportunities which your clients can now go after. So, some examples of insights is after doing the research, you'll find that the audience is overwhelmed and they prefer simple, direct content. Or the competitors rarely show behind the scenes proof. So this is when doing competitor research. Or when doing your product research, you find out that the product solves a problem people actively complain about but don't fully understand. So once you have these insights, you can now turn them into strategy. And how to turn them into strategy is um knowing how the brand will speak, what it will stand for, and which platform and formats make sense. So, if, for example, the audience prefers simple and direct content, your strategy should be around offering simple solutions, offering direct content. So, the insights will help you carve your strategy. So, for example, if the audience is struggling to understand, so you should prioritize educational content, you should focus on visual explanations, you should use simple language, and you should position the brand as a guide. So when you do this, your audience, you're not trying to solve this problem. So that's how you come from research to strategy, to insights to strategy. Now, once you have the strategy, you know what you need to do. Now you create a social media management plan. So this is where you now note down the specific an actionable plan. So you determine the content pillars, you determine the posting frequency, you determine which platform you'll use, you determine the ideas that you'll use for your campaigns, the messaging themes, and how you'll execute and monitor everything. Then once you have that, you can now proceed to create your content based on whatever insight you already have. So you create the post, you create the visuals, the videos, the captions, uh, and even the stories. So if you follow this path, your content will be relatable to your audience. Then once you have the content, of course, you'll now start getting results. You'll see if people are engaging with it, how they respond to it. Then from the results, you can now optimize. So if people are engaging with images and engaging less with posts or text, then you can now push more of visual posts. If people are relating to stories, then you can post more stories. So that is the optimization. So once you get the results, you can now optimize. Um, Now, the process of turning the research into strategy uh, follows a specific structure, which makes everything intentional. Remember, we said social media management is not about second guessing, it's not about how you feel, it's not about how you see things, it's about what the market dictates. Because if for example, you're promoting what? For example, you saw that the discussion we had in the group where it was talking about hospitals. If you do your market research, you'll find that already existing competitors, they have done a research, they know what is happening where, so they from what they do, you can easily pick some ideas from it. So using the insights you got from your research, um, you can break them down into goals, which now you'll be able to achieve. So, for example, if the business is new and unknown, then the goal will be to do brand awareness. If they they are known but they are not converting, then the goal here will be conversion. If they have customers but who buy only once, then customer retention will be the goal. If they are launching something new, then having the offer will be the goal that they'll be going after. So you should be able to set up your KPIs based on realistic goals which came from the research. Because if you just set KPIs blindly, you'll be doing guesswork, and there are chances you may hit the goals, there are chances you may miss the goals, with higher probability going to the missing because you are second guessing. So when you use your research to identify the goals, then you can easily achieve them. Then the second thing is platform selection. So once you have done your research, you know where your audience spend most of their time. You know which platform influences their buying behavior, and you know where conversations about the problem is already happening. So you can position your brand, you can position the business in such a way that it will answer them in such a way that it will answer whatever questions they have, it will talk to the pain point they have, and it will be able to solve the problem that they have. So once you've done the market research, the competitor research will show you which platforms are oversaturated, which platforms are neglected, and which ones are delivering the highest engagement, so that you can emulate the positive side and you can avoid the negative aspect of whatever your competitors are doing. Then you should be able to match the business type to the platform ecosystem. So if it's a B2B, then LinkedIn, of course, will be better. If it's about visual products, then Instagram, TikTok. If it's about deep explanation, so you go to YouTube. If it's about storytelling, you go to Facebook. So being able to match the business type, the platform ecosystem, it will make your social media management efforts to be strategic. Then the third one is the content pillars. Now, these are the main themes or the main purposes that your content will create. So, depending on your research and what you've gotten when doing research, so uh, the buyer pain points, their desires, the competitor weakness, the brand strengths, the benefits of the offer, they will give you the main topic. Then from the main topic, you can now break it down. And each topic will have a goal or a purpose, so that when you're writing it down, you know what you're trying to achieve. So you'll find some pillars are educational, some showing social proof, some showing behind the scenes, some targeting engagement. So once you know the pillar that you'll need to use, then you can be able to make a decision on how the content will align with the brand and how it will support the KPIs or the goals. Because if, for example, we are looking at conversion, then I would focus more on social proof, uh, so that the audience can see that this is already working, so it becomes easy to convert them. Then the messaging, this is where now you use whatever you researched and the brand voice and tone to be able to know how you now speak to your audience. So once you know the brand identity, you know the voice of the customer, you will know which tone to use, which style to use, which language resonates with them, and the storytelling themes which will which will be able to resonate with them better. Um, so that's the messaging. Then we have the content formats. Different categories of audiences, they react differently to different content formats. For example, um, when you find the say the category of, let's say, 35 plus audience, um, they like stories. So you'll find them on platforms where stories is the order of the day. So to be able to know this, you should be able to know what your audience naturally consume. If you're looking for teens or the younger category, they'll most likely be on the visual heavy platform like Instagram or TikTok. So you can be able to go there as a brand and be able to push your message forward to them. Now aligning the content format with what they are already consuming. You should also be able to make a decision based on what your competitors are using successfully. Remember, we are on doing competitor research, you are just benchmarking. So whatever they are doing and making them is giving them positive results, we emulate. If there's a gap that they have, then we are able to use that to be able to stand out and to be able to compete with them. Then the campaigns. Now, once you know the goals that you need to achieve, you now determine or you decide on the campaign that you need to drive. So if, for example, a brand is not known, then you come up with an awareness campaign. Then you can push the awareness campaign until you get the result of the brand now is known by people. If you're introducing a new product, then you need to have a launch campaign, which will now build anticipation towards the launch of the product or service that they are launching. If you need, or if the brand needs credibility, then you'll come up with an authority building campaign. So let's look at the practical social media management plan. And the plan defines the how, who, and when. So, one, you should be able to set monthly and weekly objectives. So, you break the goals into manageable steps. So, for example, you can say, I'll post 4 awareness forecast pieces this week or per week. I'll run a 30-day brand visibility campaign. I'll track. So, you determine what you will track. Okay. Then, from there, if your strategy is to increase conversions, then you can decide that I will post 3 weekly CTA forecast posts. I'll do weekly social proof content. I'll retarget ads for website visitors. So that is if your goal is increasing conversions. Then once you've identified the strategic goal, now define the metrics that you will monitor. So if it's awareness, then you try to see the reach, the impressions, the profile visits. If it's lead generation, then you're focusing on the links, submissions, or downloads. If it's authority, then you look at shares, saves, and testimonial engagements. So each goal, each strategy has the different metrics that you'll be able to follow. Then the third one is assigning platform specific action. So now you have the metrics you want to achieve. You already know the platform you're using. So you assign specific actions to specific platforms. So if you're going 2 or 3 platforms, so you say on Instagram, I'll post 5 posts a week. LinkedIn, I'll post 3 times a week. Then what is the engagement plan? 15 minutes a day to respond to comments. What is the platform priority? So if it's LinkedIn, it's a B2B audience. Yeah, then the secondary platform will be Instagram for brand presence. So you break them down to posting frequency, the engagement plan, the platform priorities. Then you can now build the content pillars into a content calendar. So deciding what you will post on which day so that you can convert the pillar into consistent themes. So for example, you can see on Monday I'll do an education post, Wednesday I'll do an authority post, Friday I'll do behind the scenes. Then that goes on for like 6 months, and you can do that interchangeably so that you don't become predictable. Then once you've created your content calendar, outline the campaign. So if I'm supposed to be running a launch campaign, so I should be able to now fit it into the monthly plan. So I should get to know which day I'll post what. Um, so for you to be able to outline that, you should have a clear objective, you should have a timeline, the platform you'll use, the content formats you'll use, and the metrics tied to the goal. So if it is about awareness, then you should be able to see whether people are sharing your content, whether people are commenting, whether people are saving your content. So you should be able to monitor those. Then you create your content guideline to ensure consistency and longevity. So if in case maybe you're not the one who will be handling the social media content, with a guideline, the content will still remain the same, even though it's written by somebody else. But then without this, then the content will look random. Then lastly is a distribution and engagement routine. Uh, it should also be in the plan. So replying to comments, responding to DMs, engaging with the audience, all these should be in the plan. So it's not something that you do it as a side gig, but then you're doing it under the plan so that you know that I should be able to reply to comments daily. I should be able to respond to DMs within how many minutes or how many hours. I should be able to engage with my ideal audience per day. so that you can grow the social media uh, platform or management that you're offering for the clients. So, in summary, research is the foundation of an effective social media management. So, if you want your social media management to be effective, you must research. Then, whatever you have researched, you should be able to turn it into insights. Then you should be able to turn the insights into strategy, the strategy into plans, and then you can now implement. Good. So I don't know whether we have any question. There's an assignment here for those who want to do. Any question?
I have a question. Um, share like Google Doc kwa group.
Pardon, I didn't get you.
Can you share the Google Doc, this Google Doc
Okay. Okay. I suppose you asked about. I don't know whether it's my internet or yours, but the Google Doc I've shared there. I hope that's what you asked. Yes, Mile.
Okay, thank you so much for the good explanation.
Mhm.
My question is, say for example, you're having a client, maybe let's take for example Australia, and you found that one of the things that they need to do is a social proof. Do you tell them to give you the content, or how do you go about creating the content when you're not in that particular area?
Okay. So to okay, kindly confirm to me whether my sound is clear. I hope I'm not.
Yes, it's okay.
Okay. So if you're supposed to use social proof, you should be proactive. One. So look for reviews if they are available publicly. So for example, on the business page on Google Business Profile, if they are there, you can use them. If not, then you should ask your clients, for example, to create a survey or a form which people will um, will share the reviews, or they could run a review collection campaign where they offer a discount or something upon their customers sending like a video review or a video testimonial. So, and to be able to appear valuable, you should be able to give them these options with a breakdown of what to do, so that you're not just asking, but you're showing them how they'll ask for it. Okay, Mile.
Okay, thank you.
Esther is asking, what if you've done
Yeah.
all of these? Is someone trying to talk? Okay, Esther is asking, what if you've done all of these and your audience are not responsive? Um, One, I'd disagree with you that if you follow this, your audience will respond. You need to do a root cause analysis to be able to find out what is the problem. Because if they are reacting to the same, almost the same content from your competitors, then either it means your product is not good, your service is not good, poor customer service, or you've not done brand awareness. Because brand awareness is such a thing. It's like it's called what, the ripple water effect. It should start somewhere. So if it's not there, um, find a way, launch a campaign, maybe offering, now depending on the value of what you offer, you can offer freebies, You can do, what are these called? You can do, are they called conferences? You can do like live sessions, maybe to explain now, depending on what you offer. You can do live sessions, you can do, that's free live sessions, just anything to get your brand to be mentioned. You have to kickstart the engagement. You have to start somewhere. Offered free comes twice. Now, could you 1054? Okay, I don't know whether you're in a good place to talk. We could do
Hi.
hi.
Trying to say is I've had done a little bit of the research
Mm-hmm,
and I started with doing free camp.
mm-hmm,
I've done that twice now.
mm-hmm.
But I still find that I don't know if it's the industry or but I still find the struggling.
What is your brand name, or what is your business name?
It's called Midlife.
Can you type it in the chat?
Yeah.
Midlife Medical Center. Midlife. Was it the one we saw?
So,
Is it this one?
yes, that I'm focusing on the this is the main hospital.
Uh, I don't know whether my
See
internet
the one
is
on the
bad.
Facebook.
I'm actually not hearing what you're saying. Mhm. Can you
Esther,
hear me?
maybe you can share the link. The link.
Okay, were you guys hearing her? I
Yes,
don't
we
know.
can hear you, Lauren.
What about her when she's speaking?
Yes,
Hmm.
she was saying that there's two of them. The one that is here, it's the main hospital, but she was talking about a clinic. Maybe she can share the link for the clinic.
Okay, yeah. So I think she rejoined. You can share the specific link to the clinic, and maybe say that the platform, or the platform that you're finding a struggle to kickstart. Is the clinic under the same name? Esther, are you there? Yes, she is.
Lawrence, you're on mute.
Sorry for that. Midlife. Yeah, I think it's the same one. So you're saying, I don't know if it's the language, graphics, kunakuwa na disconnect. Okay, one, I'd recommend if there are reviews. Now, maybe you could tell us, is this the page for the specific clinic or the whole hospital? Just the clinic, okay. Uh-huh. Okay, so one is the reviews. Come up with a review what? Review getting strategy. So either I've seen this with Penda Hospital, where after the person is discharged or something, they'll get a message with a link to leave a review. That's the first point to be able to get traction. Then mhm. Your body whispers before it screams. Frequent urination, low blood pressure. Mhm. Okay. So I don't know whether it's you doing this or it's somebody else, but then your posts are templated. You see, Ben did this. Uh, then somewhere you talked about Meet Nancy. I think I'd seen your brand, I suppose. Now, if you're the one doing the social media management, I want you to try something. After all, it's all about trying. Um, I was trying to see whether you have educational content. Now, there are two things I want you to try. One, uh, try what we call the contrarian strategy of posts. So, where you come up with content which tries to oppose the norm. Um, an example would be what? Let's see. We check their teeth. Mm, okay. Mm. So let me just give a random example. A random example could be something around weight loss. So you can create one which will fit the services you guys offer. So instead of saying eat less, eat less and lose weight, you can talk about eat more and lose weight, but then in the body you talk about eating more of healthy foods. You see, so the hook, which is the first sentence, will sound like something weird to say, but then in the text you'll expound. The second thing I want you to try doing educational posts. They do good in the health space. Um, because one, if I'm your follower here, from the post I've scrolled through, there's no lesson or there's nothing I've gained from them. So you see, like this, you're talking about checking the prostate. It's the important thing. Why? You have no answer. You're saying the future self will thank me. So I need to know what is prostrate. What are the common myths around it? What are the things that most people believe? What are the things that are wrong? What are the things which are right? So before putting the price here, try to educate me to understand what prostrate is all about. If you talk about okay like this, if I was to do a content audit, I'd be seeing a lot of gaps here. um, the content should be relatable, let me just say that. Okay, Esther, I hope that's clear. Okay, thank you, Esther. Any last question before we call it a day?
I have one. I'm really struggling with market research as well as content creation and curation.
Hmm.
I don't know if you can hear me.
Yes, I can.
Okay. So I'm really struggling with that. When it comes to market research, I mostly do my market research on Reddit or Quora.
Hmm.
And then when it comes to content creation, I don't know if this is the right thing to say, but I usually use the strategies that my competitors are using. And right now, I'm starting to notice that it's becoming a problem because it doesn't match our brand tone and voice. So I would really need your input on how to perfectly do market research,
Hmm.
the different platforms, as well as how to create content that really converts.
What brand are you selling or promoting?
Well, I'm not really promoting a brand. I'm working with a B2B company
Hmm.
where we are basically solving a hiring problem.
Hmm.
And mostly it's on LinkedIn.
Hmm.
Yeah. So that's what we are doing at the moment. Like it's like we remove the friction that a lot of freelancers and people looking for jobs have to get jobs. And then we also connect the hiring managers to these people. That way they're not like looking for people for so long.
So you're like a
Yeah,
recruitment agency.
exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hmm. Could you be knowing any of your social media goal, one or two?
Well, at the moment, because it's a startup, we don't really have specific goals. One of our awareness goals is just for people to know what we do.
Hmm.
So at the moment, that is our goal. Yeah.
Okay. So just as you said, starting from there, you should have
Mhm.
the awareness campaign.
Yeah.
Two, when starting out, never emulate your competitor. When starting out, unless you are equal partners or you're equal competitors, sorry, don't copy what they are doing like word for word, like exactly what they do. Because when you're
Mhm.
starting out, first you need to carve out your space, you need to create your own audience, you need to get some fans for yourself. So
Mhm.
you should be looking for small wins. For example, talking to businesses, um,
Mhm.
trying to see if they can allow you do like an audit of their hiring process or something like that, so that you can
Mhm.
first gain trust with the employers, because the problem in the recruitment space is not on the side of the people looking for jobs. It's for the businesses who want to hire people. For them to trust you, it will take some create effort. So that's where your focus should be. Because on this side, if you look for people looking for jobs, they are available. There are very many.
Mm.
But getting a business to trust you to be able to do the hiring for them, that will be a challenge. So that should be your focus. Now,
Okay.
your content should mostly be on LinkedIn. You should have, I don't know whether you guys have a website. You should.
We only have a landing page.
You're just working in Kenya or internationally?
It's international.
Do you have any credentials, any certifications?
As a business,
Yes. As a business and
if
for the
I have,
leadership.
oh no, unfortunately no.
Yeah, because those are important elements to build trust in that space.
Okay.
Um, you should also be able to now pushing content about brand awareness, which is education purely, and this would have
Mhm.
been possible if you had uh, like certifications or what around the human
Mhm.
resource space. You can
Mhm.
also have individuals. Now, I don't know how you guys are working. The individuals who
Mhm.
lead or who manage should be
Mhm.
accredited in the human resource space, so that you
Okay.
can the company can tap into them as
Mhm.
the face. Yet
Mhm.
now, when doing research,
Okay.
um,
Mhm.
Reddit, Quora, Reddit and Quora are mostly community platforms, which
Mhm.
I don't know. Do you find the company decision makers in those community channels?
Well, not necessarily, because we have like our content pillars.
Mhm,
So when it comes to like, for instance, people who are looking for jobs, what are some of the challenges that they're facing, which can include like them not having experience. So how do I take how I what I've been doing so far, I take that and put it as content when it comes to content pillars related to the talent
mhm,
seeking for jobs. Then when it comes to like the founders,
mhm,
our CEO is she's the one who's doing that.
mhm.
So mostly my department is just focusing on talent.
Okay, so your department is the simplest, just as I had said. The hardest part
Mhm.
about the recruitment space is getting a business to trust you. Getting people who are looking for jobs, it's the simplest thing you can do. Uh,
Mhm.
and if it's important that you have a website which will have
Yeah.
a section for the job seekers, a section for the companies hiring, um,
Mhm.
also have a page about job opportunities. It attracts millions actually. As long as you post
Mhm.
legit jobs, you'll be getting people on your website. And then
Mhm.
if try to make connections with businesses, do
Mhm.
outreach directly, so that you can get that trust. I would prefer starting locally,
Mhm.
uh, just to get that trust, um,
Okay.
so that it can give you a platform now to go international.
Mm.
So
So,
for the
mhm.
research about the businesses, LinkedIn would be the best place.
Yeah.
Um, Facebook too could be the best place, but now you need to know what you are
Mhm.
looking for.
Mm.
Yes,
So,
Esther, they
I
are
also,
focusing on
yeah.
B2B and B2C. What I'm saying is B2C is the simplest
Mhm.
part of their business model. The hardest part,
Yeah.
which needs a lot of resources, is the B2B.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's also a challenge I've been having with when it comes to like hiring managers. I don't know what they're looking for. Like I've never been in that position, so I don't know how to create content that relates to them. So that's another question that I have. Then we've also been including other platforms like Twitter and Threads.
Mhm.
And when it comes to this, I don't know how to speak to like the people looking for our services. For instance, founders and hiring managers. So yeah,
Mhm. Mhm.
yeah. So yeah.
I'll just reiterate what I've just said. Focus,
Mhm.
focus, like 80% of your focus should be on the B2B, because
Mhm.
essentially that's where your revenue will come from.
Mm.
So you should focus there, and your content should be theirs, not for the employees or people looking for jobs. So the
Okay.
content you should promote mostly is talking to founders, businesses, what what they miss in their hiring processes, the hiring, like the what do you call, the steps that they need to take, uh, any background checks they need to do, things along that space.
Mm.
If you go to, and that's why it will be a challenge. Uh,
Okay.
let's see, for example, in this group here, I'm hoping we'll get something. Dun, dun, dun. Da, 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 da. Lord, Lord, Lord. Mhm. So you see, for example, this post
Mhm.
is talking about, all right, what are we doing to spoil our employees for Christmas? So if according to my reasoning, the people who write here should be business owners or hiring people. So you see what they are
Okay.
doing for them. So this could be one content you can post. So
Mm.
what to offer for the employees during the festive season, the bonuses, many things like that. Um,
Okay.
mm, Now, even though in this group, most of the people looking for employees are looking for like people who can do the job there, but then they give you the gist of it.
Mm.
So you see, for example, now depending on places you'll target. So I've been told that my insurance broker, that a workers' comp
Mhm.
waiver will not be sufficient enough.
Mhm.
So these are things regarding the legal processes of hiring. So you can also
Mm.
have that as your content.
Mhm.
Now, when is the best time? Okay, this that's a post idea I'm getting from this. When, how
Yeah.
to know that you are ready to get more employees, things like that.
Okay.
So I hope that gives you an idea.
What about like, yes, it does give me an idea. What about the like market research? Like, uh, is Quora and Reddit a good place, or should I like broaden my like the way I do market research?
For the B2B space, they are not, because as I told you, those are community
Mhm.
channels. Community channels, you'll find people seeking jobs, not
Okay.
the B2B. The B2B space, you'll find them on Facebook groups like this. You'll find them on LinkedIn majorly.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
then there are some platforms which are not social media. Uh,
Mhm.
I can do a research for you and get you a few of them. Then you can see. Though most will be paid. Like for you to join that platform, you'll need to pay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would really be helpful. So thank you.
Yeah. Kindly remind me.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's take the last two questions. The last two or one. How many hands are up? One. Caroline.
Hello, can you
Hi.
hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, thank you for the session. It's been very informative. I think hiyo ni part sikuwa nimefanya on on my part, so I think it will really help me. Maybe you could just help me a little bit. I recently started working with a um, this client. They've started a running community
Mm-hmm.
for people who want to like get fit for their mental health and things like those.
Mm-hmm.
And apart from getting people to run in this running community, their major goal is to get a big following online so that they can use it to maybe collaborate with brands, sell products, and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been a month, and what I'm seeing, I'm getting views on their socials, but I don't get a lot of follows and likes, which the client is really interested in. So, of course, from what you've taught us today, I think when I go back and do the research, that will help. But maybe what other insights you could share so that I can also incorporate in doing their socials.
Mm-hmm. So you're looking to add them to the community.
Um, I don't know if no, like it is a running community,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So we are rallying, or rather trying to get people uh, come to run in this running community. It is a run happening every Saturday
So
at 7 a.m.
you're trying to get them, the ones already in the community.
No, the community is starting out. There are few people, about maybe 30 of them
Mm-hmm.
wenye tayari wameshakuja.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So what is your goal? Is it to get more people to the community? That's what I was asking.
Oh yes. To get more people into the community,
Mm-hmm.
and but the socials part of it is to get or rather get a huge following,
Mm-hmm.
or get people to follow the socials for this
Mm-hmm.
running community,
Mm-hmm.
so that as it grows, it gives
Mm-hmm.
the client a space where they can collaborate with brands and stuff like those, so that they can also earn.
Okay.
Yes.
Uh-huh. Which is the last run done in there was the Nairobi City Marathon, right? If I remember
Mm-hmm.
right.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see what we have. So, what you do is okay. This is just top of mind. I would do searches like this on all platforms because I know people. You see, like this one. I suppose this from Instagram. The,
Mm-hmm.
the people who attended these runs, they do it for fun. Okay, so I would do that.
Yes.
I would go commenting now with the brand, whatever, brand page, saying we have a run coming up. Are you interested to join? Something of that sort. Uh, I'm, I'm sure you'll gain some followership based on that. So that is one. Two, if you're open to it, you can run campaigns. You can run a campaign to it
Okay.
where paid advert on Facebook or Instagram would be nice. But then when you search for the recent marathons, you find people saying there are these marathons where people go for fun. So you'll be looking for those
Mm-hmm.
people.
Okay.
Yeah, so you can try that.
All right. Sawa
Okay,
sawa. Thank you.
thank you. Okay, thank you guys. Our time is far much gone. Thank you for your time. Thanks for being here. Have a good day and